Bow, 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 bow. Custom showcase intro music. What's up, everybody? Andrew Wall here, host and executive producer at Illuvium. Grant Warwick told me, look, bro, I've only got a couple of leaks this week. No big deal. And then he sends me 21 videos and 73 freaking images. And he's like, look, the team is beast, bro. What am I supposed to do about it? This is what we're supposed to do about it. Leak all of it to you today. So what do we have going in Illuvium Showcase? You know the deal. Art, videos, characters, skins, environments, and bonus leaks from your man Grant Warwick. And of course, nothing you're seeing on the screen in this episode is financial advice. We are just developing video games. You need to do your own research, but you're smart enough to understand that, obviously. I spoke about Von Leekman. I spoke about the man who said, I just have small leaks. Not a big deal. Here he is. Here's the man guilty of all of these leaks this week. What's up, Grant?
It's pretty good, man. And you'll notice that I've actually left my house for the first time in 8 months.
Wow. Look at that. He's in
the office.
The Illuvium office. Yes. And he's in there with Dimitri.
At 4 a.m. this time because of daylight savings. I said to Dimitri, like, dude, do you want to go in? We'll do the leak show together. And there's like only one mic set up in here. And he's also like, it's daylight savings. So it's not actually 3 a.m. It's 4 a.m. And I was like, oh, shit. It just gets crazier every time.
Oh, my gosh.
And I've got the merch on, the hoodie.
You've got the merchandise on. So do I. I've got the hat on.
Everyone
that was just sent to me. And I've got the shirt. And did you see the back? I don't know if your hoodie has a design on the back, but take a look at the back of this shirt, guys.
Oh, okay.
Fight for ETH.
No need to fucking outdo me.
Oh, yeah, baby. Woo! Am I outdoing you? You just have a regular hoodie on?
Yeah. I mean, sometimes the classics.
It is a classic. Obviously, we have merchandise on the way, everybody. So calm down. We're working on it. Really quick, if you haven't already, it's really important that you go check out all of the hard work our team did before we get into all the leaks on the new Illuvidex. If you haven't checked it out, go check out Illuvidex version 2. So smooth. So good. Filtering options, sorting options, better map. You can transfer land. Go to illuvidex.illuvium.io. The new Illuvidex is just absolutely gorge. I super, super highly recommend checking that out today. If you haven't revisited it since the revamp, go check it out. It's a massive upgrade. Grant, I have videos this time. People complained last time about how they didn't loop properly and how they weren't full screen. So we fixed it. You want to kick it off with the videos, man?
Absolutely. But the reason, I just want to let you know, the reason why I said it's not like a huge leak week is because a lot of these videos are not in their final form. They're just leaks from the animation department or something, So for me, I consider it a bigger leak when it's gone through the entire pipeline and we get to like an NFT reveal or something like that. So I don't know. This week, it feels like we're a little bit more like the leaks are less grand and like crazy, but we'll see. We'll see.
I see what you mean. You want to temper expectations, and we're not revealing new entire video games or finished things. It's just a standard bit of leaks. I get it, but there's close to 100 of them.
It's like teleporting back a year when the leaks were a little less like, holy shit, like we're not sharing seven regions in one video and stuff like that. But
got it. Okay, so he's tempering expectations, everybody. Let's get into showing the videos then. So let's full screen them and loop them. Video number 1, here it is. This one actually has audio, so let me see if I can play that through for you guys and turn up the volume here.
Stage 2 polar bear.
I like that audio too. Stage 2 polar bear for everybody. That's just it. That's a simple animation.
From animation department, yeah.
Very cool. And animation number 2. What are we looking at here?
So we've done like the Lynxes. Oh my God. Maria and Yannick, the husband and wife team, who've been doing all of the hair simulation in our game. And they're just at the process of simulating the hair and fur for all of the NFTs. So as soon as the Overworld private beta goes out, which is imminent, that's what we're actually here for at 4 a.m., Dimitri and I are going to get back on to rendering all of the high-res NFT artwork on the render farm that you can probably almost hear with the closed door downstairs.
Got it. And we have even more animations to show you. Check this one out.
Someone said dog shit leaks incoming.
Here they are. He's setting expectations low. Figment, clearly a Von Leekman fan. Here we go. So just more links, variations, and animations for people to check out. This one is the Earth version. Correct me if I'm wrong. I believe that's what the
Yes.
file was labeled.
Yep. Yep.
Very
So
cool.
the links don't have composite synergies, so they'll just be like fire, earth, air, nature, water.
Got it. This one's the Fire Bulwark version. Nice smooth animations. I love the way the hair is looking, the way the hair on the chinny chin is kind of swings around. Looks nice.
I love. It's become a meme internally when Aaron was like, "Hey, let's just make like 35 of the same character to save on internal development time. But let's also make them all fur." So it's ended up being the hardest part of the entire game. It's
Oh my gosh.
imagine, like, so there are more fur characters. There's been more Hollywood level fur work done on this game than there was in the new Lion King movie.
Oh my gosh. Are you serious?
Oh, I don't know, but how many different individual characters were in the new Lion King movie? We've got like 80 of them, so
That's wild.
scary.
It is scary. The team is doing
All
so
Hollywood
much good
level.
work. So much good work here. And this one is Fire Empath version. Look at that split in the ears, yawning. Come on. Is that not adorable?
Just the detail. We got whiskers, everything. It's all like, you don't just, okay, with fur and stuff like that, it's not, a lot of people think with CGI and things like that, oh, there's just a button to make fur on a character. They have to manually go in and sculpt the fur's directionality, the length, the stiffness of the fibers, the way it interacts with itself, like the internal collision physics and things like that. Then they have to go through a process of reducing that to fur cards and then making those optimized. And there's a process involved in each one of these characters that not many people would be able to appreciate unless you witnessed it happening. But I think at some point we've got to do like a documentary or something on the making of this game, because there's just too much crazy stuff happening. Like, they don't do this in games. Like, they just don't. It's crazy.
Doing things on a movie level here, but for a video game. That's what we mean by AAA, my friends. This right here is an Imprisoned variations video. And so it looks like there are 5 variations on the ground right there. I'm sorry, 6.
Yep.
Can you help me understand exactly what we're looking at here?
So when you go into an encounter in the overworld, each character will obviously have an affinity, and we want to distinguish which are the powerful characters versus which are the lesser powerful characters. So if you get a Ramfire and it's really high level with really high stats, you want to communicate that to someone, because if there's a really weak Ramfire, the Ramfire itself still looks crazy and it's still a really rare, high-powered character. But you want something additional on top of that to just really make that character pop, so that when you go into an encounter, they don't just all load at once, right? The characters will go boom, 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 boom. And the ones that are more powerful will have a larger sound, a larger base spawn VFX. The imprison during the capturing moment, which is what we're seeing here, is all exaggerated. So every single detail that can make a character distinguished in the game, we focused on. So if their stats are higher, Florian's gone in and made sure that the stat bar has its own little animation and VFX and sound. And there's just so many layers to making something feel more impactful for the player. There's a lot of details that a lot of games just skimp out on and expect you to still get excited about it. And it's just, you've got to cross a certain threshold where people are like, holy shit. And this is the detail we're going to. I said from the very start that we would go absolutely insane on the capturing flow. And I don't know, when did we first start speaking about the capturing flow? Was it like 4 months ago, 3-4 months ago now, probably, that we built that capturing strike team, which is basically all of the leads on the game coming together to do their best work on the capturing
There's an
side.
entire strike team on this, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, it's really, it's like, we said to ourselves, come on, like, there's got to be certain things in the game where we show what we're capable of as a team. You know, to do this level for everything in the game is not feasible, But when people see the final capturing flow, I can guarantee that it will be the best in the world that's ever been done. It will be exactly what Pokemon should have been, and then some, and should hopefully last the test of time, so that if people come into the game later on, we indicate that, big shit's happening on the screen at every single level of detail.
Love it. Niantic is going to be making us billion-dollar offers because we got the ideas they wish they had done. Next animation.
Yeah. The gorilla, Kieran's ape.
Fighter Monkey Stage 3.
Wait until you see all of these done in NFT form. It's like I said, it's not just the Lynxes that have all that fur done to them. It's like half of the characters in the game. I feel sorry for Yannick. He's owed a 3-month holiday very soon.
Everybody's getting pushed to the limit.
Never come back. Just enjoy your life.
Oh, oops! I had these out of order. Sorry about that. This is a bonus links, Nature Bulwark bonus links.
It's just links everywhere, man.
There are links everywhere, man. I got so many videos here. I'm having a hard time keeping track of all these freaking leaks. Just another variation on the links we saw earlier, ladies and gentlemen. And then this one has audio. Let me see it. Let me turn that on for you.
Yes. Laura has been working on the plant's passive VFX. Now, these aren't all completed. And this is obviously, whenever the VFX artists are doing tests and stuff in-game, they're not using the latest branches and stuff. So the in-game graphics here are not what the focus is. It's just the fact that she's showcasing the passive VFX on these blue hollow bulb plants. So each plant will have, once again, all of the layers required to make it stand out in the world. It has sound, VFX, interactive glows and things like that. Like when you fire a gun at this plant in the final game, each little bulb will light up. So everything feels interactive. And of course, there'll be physics on this plant in the end, where you shoot and it jiggles and lights up. Like, I just think that's so cool.
I agree. I think that's so cool as well. This is really awesome. Longer video for you guys, 56-second video there, just showing some of those development details. Thank you for sharing that, team. Beautiful. And here's another one.
Mm-hmm. Just
more audio on this as well.
Actually, the thing is, right, sometimes I don't really know. Like, I'll just send you videos because it's what the team is sending me to art review. But the graphics update we've done on the Crimson Waste over the last 2 to 3 weeks, rushing to get this out for the Overworld beta, has been crazy. Actually, Mark, Dimitri, and myself have been up tonight trying to figure out what it's going to take to get this level polished and locked off ASAP, like imminently. And we're excited because it's so close to getting the Overworld in people's hands.
I want to play that audio for everybody. This one, the name of the file is Overworld Plants, so clearly they wanted you to review the plants.
Yes, yeah. And there's so many different branches and test levels and things like that. Like the VFX artist will work on something that's 3 months outdated because all they're doing is just bringing an asset into the level and just seeing what it looks like. But
very cool.
Pretty cool.
It is pretty cool.
We're going to that level, each plant in the game. Animation updates for the crouch and aiming of the gun. One of the things that you'll notice up until this point is that the camera's position has been directly behind the character. Mm-hmm. And it's probably better to have that type of camera movement for like a first-person shooter where accuracy and scene composition is less important, where you just need to see exactly what's in front of you. But Alex thought, this wasn't my idea, Alex thought it would be more immersive for the type of game we have to shift the camera over the player's shoulder, and that way you see a little bit more side on to the character and it feels... certain games do that. I can't think off the top of my head which games do that, but certain games do shift the aim a little bit to the right. And
Gears of War does that.
Fair enough. So different games do it.
Different games do it to give you a different feel if you're going into cover, or the gameplay is more about traversal or some other aspect. Seeing around a corner, they'll shift the targeting reticle accordingly, and it just feels different, feels better. If you're trying to, if the environment that they're traversing is really important, and it's not just about the shooting. which in our case, that's the emphasis. So that makes sense.
And the thing I love is in my career, I never focused on animation. And so watching Alex do his thing, all of the leads on our team have full autonomy to basically do what they think is best for the game. You know, we'll be on a lead meeting and they'll just bring up, we're going to do this for the game. If no one has anything to say, they do it. So a lot of studios don't allow that freedom. But for someone like Alex, who spent the first year and a half on this project working on just getting the characters implemented, like the fundamental animations, nothing was able to be really showcased for his skill level on the movement system and the little subtle details that we'll get when interacting with things in the overworld. And now that the character lines are basically done, you know, we've only got like 3 or 4 character lines that have animation left to polish up. He's starting to go crazy on the movement mechanics, and you'll notice over the next few months that where his focus is, the character will start being able to do things like rolling, sliding, flipping, cool descent animations with the jetpack. When you like jump off Tiger Boreal and you hit a certain terminal velocity, she'll go vertical, like really cool shit that's coming, and doesn't make or break the game from us releasing betas and updates, but that is what's planned. That is what he has planned. He wants the best movement system in any next gen game. So it'll get there, but you got to be patient.
Dedication. Each little piece, each piece of polish ends up combining into that final experience that just quote unquote feels right. A lot of gamers are like, it just doesn't feel right. Well, it's like 100 different things coming together to make that feel actually be achieved. Pistol Shrimp Stage 3. Signature animation here, friend.
Xena's one of our animators. The guy's another fucking genius on the team. It's just crazy. And, you know, once again, that capturing flow isn't just about that Pokemon feeling. It's like once you get the character, you want to showcase what that character is capable of and what kind, like an animation that defines that character's type of personality. Like, is it a shy character? Is it really powerful? Is it funny? Is it cute? The signature animation is for that. And this is what pops up after you've captured the character in the capturing flow. So this is the first thing. You've got the character and then bang, it drops in, and then all the stats start going boom, 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 boom. And you see, I'll show this stuff very, very soon. The capturing flow right now is 80% complete. You know, we're getting there. It's everyone on the team sees the work we're doing on the capturing flow stuff and is like, holy shit, like this is going next level. And part of that is making sure that every character in the game has a signature.
It's that powerful moment when they're captured that makes you feel like, wow, I just got something significant. I just got something meaningful.
Emotes. I think so. I don't even know where this is coming from.
This is a pinned message from Sea Scorpion, Stage 3.
Yeah, I think maybe this was influenced by Rich. I'm not sure, but basically there are certain things in our Discord that you can apply GIFs or stickers to, and I'm confused because I've been so heavily focused on the overworld. I've lost touch with a couple of things that are happening, but we've also got emotes coming. So I'm not sure if this is an emote, but basically emotes.
This looks like an emote.
I think it's an emote, but this is something that in the game that you can click a character and like a little wheel will pop up that you can load these emotes from. So that when you're in the auto battler versing another player, you've unlocked certain emotes for that character, you can make them do stuff. So as the battle's loading and the other player is seeing your team comp, you're doing dumb stuff like making the characters wave at them and stuff like that, which I think is super cool. Adds another layer of collectability on top of the character. So it's like, cool, now I've got the Rampire character, but now I've got to focus on slowly unlocking all of that character's emotes.
Very cool. Emote update, everybody. He's got the leaks.
The Snaily.
Now this is a blah emote from Snaily. Look at that.
He's my favorite character.
I love it too.
By far my favorite character. I think he's going to be iconic. You'd think that we've got a leak. Did you get the little Atlas leak in time?
It's in there. It's in the next section.
Cool,
yes.
Cool. Yeah. I mean, this guy to me is even more cute than Atlas, which is just crazy.
Looks great. I really, really like it. Perfect. All right, let's keep it going, guys. We got even more animations for you. Then 70 freaking leaks. Ooh. Glowy Solon fuel, right?
Yeah, in Tiger Boreal, this is one of the elements. So even though Tiger Boreal is an ice region, and I think in this update there is a couple of things that showcase this asset that we've created, but it's basically spewing out lava and generating lava. So it's a mysterious element in the game that is showcased in Tiger Boreal. So the whole level's icy and cold, and then we've got this one area that kind of like cools the whole area off and leads down into a valley, which makes it all green with flowers. It's going to be really beautiful. In each region, we've tried to make sure that there's sub-regions, and some of those sub-regions just break away from what the main region is. So you can be running around, you get used to that look and feel, and then bang, it changes. And it's just those levels of detail that we've gone to make sure that the overworlds don't feel boring.
Who wants some fuel? This is it. Very good. All those details make it more interesting. Up. No. More squid.
Lakshmi's like, can I make Squiz Wave? And I was like, I don't care. Do whatever you want. Everything you do is insane. So just do it. And yeah, I think it's so cute. There you go. There's the electricity character for you.
Very good. Let's take a look at the next one. This is going to be a full-blown video.
Part of the capturing flow. Yeah, when he's failing to capture, and this is also going to be involved. So don't hold me to this because super early days, but obviously once the foundations for the survival mode are complete, we need to work on PvP, right? Player versus player. And I believe Aaron's idea for making player versus player work was that each of your Mozart drones has a health bar. And so each round, depending on how hard you lose that round, Mozart will take damage. And it's the first person to defeat the other person's Mozart. And it's like each time that Mozart has to drop characters on the board, he's like, it'll be something along those lines. So it's round based. Because I always like, how's the player versus player system going to work if we're not like TFT? And he's like, yeah, let's. That was just one of the ideas he threw around. So that would be super cool in my eyes. That if you win that round really, really easily, Mozart takes more damage, and it also means that if you're behind and you make a really strategic decision to change your team's comp, right, he might still take a little bit of damage, but you can kind of like Street Fighter, when your character gets down to that low level, pull it back somehow by getting a really cool combo off or something like that.
I like that. It's more interactivity and some more depth to those systems and the way the players interact with each other. Yeah. I love the Mozart struggling to capture animation. I mean, I play Pokemon with my kids, Pokemon Go, and various Pokemon games. You have the Pokemon ball shaking and then bursting and then the Pokemon coming back out. Makes sense. All those little details make the actual successful capture that much more impactful when you have the failed ones, and they're clearly visually represented.
But in the capturing flow, every single last detail has been polished. Every last detail. I would be wildly surprised if someone sees the final capturing that we're called done and goes, but what if it has this? Like, we've tried to get our mind in that mindset of like, don't forget anything in this process. We've had multi-hour-long meetings just going over the same thing over and over and over until we're like, all right, what if this scene has a tiny camera shake on it? What if we insert a sound here? What if the camera locks and how we make the camera lock and you can orbit around the character? And if you scroll, it goes vertical. If you hold control, like you can zoom out. Like everything it's just crazy. I don't think I've ever done anything in my entire career as detailed as this capturing flow.
Is this a successful capture then? This looks like a happy Mozart. Or is this something else?
This is not this is part of the capturing flow. I'm having a mind blank where this fits in, but
I think the file says sharding. Sharding?
Yeah. Okay. So during There's so many details to this at this point. I've been
It's
staring
okay.
at
You
this
don't have
video
to know
for
exactly what
6
it is. It's all right. People can just look at the pretty animation. It's okay.
But the successful animation is all fireworks and things like that. I think we've done a work in progress for that.
Got it. Very cool. And there's a firework.
Yeah, so in the overworld, Abel Fazil is just starting to work on the bullet VFX for like when you fire the tracking gun and stuff like that, just to indicate where you've shot the bullet. This is super early days. I just thought I'd leak it to let people know that we are working on, because you remember in the trailer there was the scene where she's hunting the pangolin and it rolls past the scene, rolls
Yes.
past the camera, and she goes and like fires the bullet 3 times, and it's like we want to get that effect matched as close as possible in the game. And right now, you can see there's no trail on the gun to make it look like this cool big moment. You know, like firing a gun and hitting that target is going to be a big moment in the game, and we want to make sure that the VFX matches that. So early days, the gun VFX and weapon interaction and hitboxes will drastically improve over the next couple of weeks. It's a shame though, because like we were speaking earlier before we started the stream, and our team size is so big, all these world conflicts and different countries having riots and stuff, like really you start to feel it, right? You start working with these people for so long. So Abul Fazil was like, hit me up the other day and he's like, dude, in Iran, they blocked Discord now. I can't access it. And I might be out. Like, I don't know what to do. So we're doing our best with such a big team size, with the world being in the state it's in, to like try and help some of the team members get through this shit. But it's just like, you take for granted how good we have it here in Australia.
That makes sense. No, you're totally right. It reminds you to be grateful for what you have and be grateful to be in a safe, secure country. And with a decentralized organization like this, it's true. Every global conflict is probably impacting some Illuvium core contributors at some point. And I'd like to give a tip of the hat to the Warwicks, who have made an effort to help out those core contributors in any extra ways they can. You know, even if their life is being turned upside down by some world event. So Kieran, I've talked with Kieran separately about that, and sometimes he just goes dark for a few days, just trying to help somebody out. So I have a lot of respect for that. You could say, F it, I'll just get another consultant or whatever. But instead, you actually are caring about your team. So I appreciate that, and I respect that about you guys.
We had to get Kantemir out, who was on the last episode, you know, out of Russia. Just crazy shit happening in the world right now.
Oh, let's keep the leaks going then. I muted myself, as I classically do on our shows. Here we go. Just a run animation improvement.
So good, yeah.
Yeah, much better.
So good. Just
what's that on their hand right there? It looks like the
gun.
Almost looks like a beam cannon or something. I know. I guess it's a gun.
Maybe that's not hooked up correctly or anything like that. But just getting Arlen, getting weight in. You know, obviously one of the biggest feedbacks when we released that first Overworld video was we want to see better movement systems, and we said it was coming, and now it's coming. So.
Very cool. Do you want to show what you have in store on your screen share with everybody right now, or do you want to wait until later, make people wait till the end for the super bonus leak?
Yeah, I just wanted to show you where we're at because, like I said, I would be streaming certain environment things in the CC streaming channel throughout the last couple of months, and since that environment showcase video, and that's exactly what we've done. And now, for the Overworld beta, the Sancta Mesa region is locked off apart from the hub stuff. So let's
pull it up if you want to show it to everybody then, if that's cool with you. Yeah. Cool. Let me pull it up here.
Yeah, because one thing people got to realize is a lot of the time when I'm streaming work in progress stuff on environments, we're not using baked lighting. Baked lighting is what makes it performant for everyone, even on a lower end system. So until we bake it, we're using things like ray tracing and lumen, and it can look a little bit better than you would expect to see. But we've made sure to do a really, really good job of making sure that the performant version, the final version that goes out for players, is as close to the non-baked version as possible. And I believe we've done that. So you can see I'm getting really good frame rate on this. this region will be really good for everyone. This has the interactive plants in it and stuff like that. These hubs are changing and stuff like that, but just the cleanliness of the level now, it's coming together.
Wow, the frame rate is drastically improved since you showed it
Yeah,
to us
now
in the
you're
past.
saying
This is
I'm
smooth.
smooth as butter.
This is
Smooth as butter.
he's just Discord screen sharing with everybody right now, and it looks that smooth. Everybody.
Yeah, so if I slow the camera down quite a lot, and all of these plants that you're seeing are interactive, which I just think is so cool. Not the little ones, but the amount of work that we've done to polish this region, just down to the last little details and stuff, making the game look stylized, approachable by kind of anyone. That style where it's
can you turn the camera toward those lights on the building right there? I'm loving that purple light. Oh, come on. It's my favorite aesthetic. That's
no, because I wanted to something in 3ds Max on this computer was messing up, and I was going to import the new hub. This hub is outdated.
Okay. You didn't want to show this. Okay.
No, I didn't want to show this because the new survival arena, it's changed. Trust me, it's really, really good. I'll do that in the next leaks showcase. Show people the updated hub that Cantemir and I have worked on. It's beautiful. It's amazing.
So just so everybody understands, Sancta Mesa is your home base in Illuvium. In our overworld game. You're going to have various kind of vendors you can interact with here.
Yep.
You're going to come back, and we're hoping to implement some social features here in the future. And this is going to feel like home, where the rest of the regions are going to be more dangerous and wild and fantastical. This is going to be the place that you're going to get used to, and you can feel a bit more settled with.
Yeah, all the animation will come in. But like I spoke to you before the show started, one of the things we're going to try and do, our game isn't multiplayer, but it is for the overworld isn't multiplayer. We can't get multiple people in the hub and stuff yet. But I wanted to make sure that the survival arena, which is in the center here, which will obviously get updated, has things like a big projected leaderboard system, so that if you're in the game, that we're going to add a hub here that you can click and activate, and it brings up a holographic display showing the top scorers for that day in each of the game modes. You've got the Ascendant Arena over here, which is player versus player. This is also outdated, obviously, but the hub is essentially going to showcase all of the information for leaderboards. It's where you fuse your characters in the fusion platform. You've got the Leviathan Arena. We've also updated the spaceship as well. That'll go in for next week's showcase. It's going to be really cool. We're still, because the Leviathan Arena is a ways away, I haven't polished all of the set dressing leading up to it. So all of this is polished and nice, but when people play the Overworld beta, they're going to see that there are some areas like here which haven't had the same love. So you can see weird stuff happening, but that'll get updated later as well. So I just thought it'd be cool to showcase that even though in all of the streams I do the performance and there's crashes and a whole bunch of stuff, it's all going to converge on a version that's playable by anyone on a medium spec system. I'm not going to say you're going to be able to crank everything to epic on a shitty low end, non-gaming computer, but obviously as good as I want the game to look, it's still got to be playable by the largest number of people that play PC games. And I think we've achieved that. The performance here is just perfect. I've got a good graphics card, but we've done performance testing on lower end systems as well. So it's very exciting that we can get the game looking like this. It looks AAA. It looks next gen with all the physics, and it's just going to be exciting. I'm really excited to see what the community thinks of our first Overworld beta. It's not going to be final, but we've made huge progress. So I guess we can get back to the showcase.
Yeah, Sunwoo's comment, I think, summarizes it quite well. It just keeps getting better and better. I totally agree with that. So we'll keep showing you showcase over showcase. How many games have you got to actually see the progress of that game week over week improve, just noticeable improvements? And that's the hard work of the team. Like you mentioned, Dimitri's up there with you at 4 a.m. right now. This team is going hard. We are building in this bear market right now. That's what we're up to. And you guys are seeing the results. It's not just talk. Speaking of which, good God, dude, we got to go through these leaks.
Yeah,
you gave me 70 more leaks, including some really notable ones. Let's check these out, everybody, including some beautiful merchandise. So our merchandise manager, he's getting even more pissed because we keep showing off merch. So check this out, everybody. I don't know if you can see the details here on this, but there's eyes. And can you spot the character on this black shirt? I like the black on black designs. Personally, I think that's classy. I think that's expensive looking.
We're in the process right now where these are just tests, right? We're trying to figure out how we can set a style and a standard where things are catchy and like, what's the word? I'm not a fashion person, but like fashionable, like they're high quality pieces. We're not just rushing shit out, but with a range of styles going from serious merchandise to cute and then more subtle stuff. I'm always, my biggest thing is less is more. And I always feel like if you know about Illuvium and you see someone wearing one of these shirts, you're going to instantly know. But to a person who doesn't, it doesn't just like scream, oh, I'm a nerd or something like that. I'm a computer nerd or I'm a geek or something like that. Like some of the Star Wars merchandise can, not all of it, but there are certain levels that we just want to play with. And, we can leak some of this stuff to get people's feedback. And, if they don't like it, well, then they can join the club of everyone who doesn't like me leaking everything.
That's fair. I mean, I think maybe one of the words you're reaching for there is the taste level.
Trendy.
So there's trend. You need to be on trend, and you need to have a good taste level with your gear. And I think a lot of stuff that like gets licensed through Star Wars, for example, they're just trying to go as mass market and as maximum revenue as possible, and they don't care if it's on trend or not, and they don't care if it's got a high taste level or not. They just care, can they push units? And so for us, and it's true, and they make a lot of money that way, and there's nothing wrong with that. But for us, we're looking to have something with a high taste level that's on trend, is cool, and is premium, at least to kick things off, and no risk of death. I don't think these t-shirts are going to cost 1 ETH each.
No.
Not unless ETH drops another, 95%.
Hey, Dimitri, can you pass me the statue?
Hold on.
Grant's got bonus leaks. I showed this on it previously, but now I've got like a better camera here. So obviously we're going to be working on the statues. This is one that Alex has made, and you can just
move it back toward yourself, toward there you go. People can see the whole thing there. There you go.
So you can see like little baby Atlas in there.
No way.
The detail that we get.
Is that the whole line? Is that all three?
That's all three. And this is like truly, Alex is literally one of the best sculptors of all time in ZBrush. So this will historically, the work he's done on these just go down. It's just ridiculous. You can't really see it on a crappy webcam. But once again, statues and things like that. Imagine this painted like Weta Workshop stuff and one of 1,000 numbered. We've got work in progress that I haven't leaked on really cool self-illuminated boxes and things like that for packaging. It's, where each statue comes with a poster and an artist signing it and an official certification, and wow,
it's a whole thing. There's a lot of pieces to put into place for that. And speaking of that line, here's some art that you wanted to show off today, my friends. Take a look at this art. If you don't like this art, you need to go into therapy because you're like a sociopath.
How good is Vincent? How good is Vincent? Vincent's one of those guys on the team who came on and he was a freak, but in the year and a half that he's been on the team now, he's evolved his style so many different times. You got a little stage 0 Atlas. I don't know. No one pitched that. See the little baby tadpole?
I do. The little tadpole right up here. That is, I mean, come on. More baby cute than baby cute. This is like breaking the laws of physics right now. Look at this. Look at his little hands and feet. Look at his little hoodie.
This would go on a jumper or a t-shirt or something like that. It's just a sketch. It's not the final vector artwork, but we're getting
stage 0.
Imagine a year and a half ago talking about merch and things like that. You'd think, it's never going to happen. And now we're getting to a point where Brian and the art team are like churning out merchandise concepts, and it's great to see that we've transitioned away from game art concept because there's only so many plants and environments you can concept for, and have shifted towards merchandising and getting tangible things in our community's hands.
I agree. Okay, we have a couple more art that I wanted to show really quick. Welcome to Sanctum Mesa. What's the context on this one?
I think Roger just wanted to create some like more merchandise concept type stuff for t-shirts and stuff. You know, we're just trying different styles. So this is one of Roger's, and you can see that it's got that weird Roger, you know, style.
He wants to know what that means. He's like, what does it mean to have a Roger style? He's like, what do you mean, man? I think he's a little self-conscious about that.
What do you mean? I've never thought it's a bad thing. I think it's just you can tell when Roger's doing something, like the expressions on the characters. Look at it's just so Roger. Like
it is.
I've never seen another artist do stuff like that.
And look at the tagline down here: "For a long, long way together."
Yeah,
very nice.
He'll take a character and then just change it up a little bit and still keep the essence of the character, but it gives you a different feel when you see it. Like you don't look at Atlas there and think, "Oh, he's the cutest thing ever." You think he's badass, and you know he's just got a different style. I love it. I've never thought it's a bad thing.
Oh, me neither. I just think he's being a little weird and self-conscious. That's fine. That's also typical for an artist. Here's some very different, but also art that we wanted to show today. Work in progress art. Gorgeous. Look at this blue electrical looking mist here in the mountains, contrasted on the red volcano-y rock face. What a beautiful aesthetic. I mean, I know it's really dark, but I love this aesthetic.
You'll see more of Shard Bluff over the next few months as we polish it.
Man, look at that. Seriously, for me, I like the dark stuff. And this is just gorgeous looking to me. We've got something for everybody when it comes to
the only
our
nighttime region. Yeah, the only nighttime region. Yeah, we've got to have one nighttime region that's just all moonlit and lit by the lava and stuff like that. Cool.
Agreed. We have to move into characters, my friends. I got to push us through these leaks. We got too many effing leaks. Here's a dude. Who's this? Why are we showing this?
Updated sculpt from Alex. This is one of the other characters that's part of the game's lore. He's going to be one of the main characters in the game. And you can see that the anatomy and the detail is as good as you're ever going to find from a concept artist. So, from a sculptor, sorry. So Alex, you know, once again, it's amazing having one of the best models on Earth on the team.
Chat, when you're watching these live, stop commenting on the buttocks of all the characters. We understand. Humans have butts. Get over it. All right, we've got a number of characters in a row here to show. But this is about showing the variations. So are these Illuvatars?
I believe they are, yes.
Got it. So I'm just going to flick through the variations so you guys can check these out. Just look how gorgeous this art is.
Dan is just a freak.
God, it looks so good.
I love that we've got we've developed a style now. Like in 5-10 years, you're going to look at stuff. No, that's Illuvium. You know, just like you would Pokemon. It's so cool.
That's what lasts the test of time. You're absolutely right. If you don't have that, then nobody cares. And you hold on. Look at I just noticed the eyebrow. Look at that flame brow right there.
They all change.
Ladies, you think you got eyebrow game? You think again. Look at that eyebrow game. I love it. All right, perfect. So let's move into some what I thought were skins. I'm pretty sure. Correct me if I'm wrong here.
Yes. Yeah.
Perfect. I don't know. I didn't know what.
Something for everyone.
Is this one of the default skins, or is this based on one of the Illuvials?
It's not based on one of the Illuvials. I think it's based on one of the regions. So this is more Abyssal Basin. But there are going to be special skins that you can't get in the game. There'll be skins that you unlock by achieving things in certain levels. So in terms of what you can get, it's not just about going on the Illuvidex and buying it. You know, there are going to be certain things that challenge you to unlock those. They'll be far less rare, obviously, if everyone can just beat the game and get them. But they're things that you can strive for to get in the game.
This one obviously is a wild design. I love the variety. You know, somebody was just asking me on a stream, oh, look at the mouth. Oh my God, I love that one. With the dark half on the bottom and the color on the top. Somebody was asking me on a recent interview I did, a Twitter space. It had like 1,000 people in it. They were saying, what can games do to attract a wider range of people? And in this context, they were talking about women. I'm like, well, one of the things you can do is have aesthetics from a wide range of appeal. So as you guys can notice with the aesthetics that we're producing or the art team is producing, they aren't just all ultra aggressive, bro, fire, muscles, pew pew designs. There's a wide range of aesthetics that are going to appeal to a wide range of people. And that's going to help us open up the tent at Illuvium to more people. And just like we saw at the conference in Australia, there were a number of 60-plus-year-old women that as soon as they saw Atlas, they were like pulled out their phone and took a picture and they're like, oh my God, I love it. So it's important to have a diversity in design if you want your intellectual property to be, to reach hundreds of millions of people like we want Illuvium to reach. Oh my gosh, I just noticed the antenna at the top. Look at the little, look at the little skull on the top. Look at that detail. Look at that, guys. Come on. Come on. Oh, you gotta love it.
Hey, most people don't realize that there's like a little ETH logo mixed into Mozart as well in his little side hinge things.
I didn't realize that.
Go back and take a look.
Okay, I guess we'll have to here.
Oh.
And his side hinge?
Can zoom in. Yeah, zoom in on the far right one.
The far right one? Sure.
Yeah, zoom all the way in. Further.
I have to turn my zooming tool on to go further.
The little diamond in there. There's little ETH logos mixed into a lot of stuff in the game. It's kind of like the Rangers little mini logo.
Okay, I see. You're talking about the diamonds on the center of his torso?
Yeah, the diamonds. Yeah.
Yeah, this image is not high enough resolution for me to see it, but let's show that on a future stream so people can see that detail. He's talking about the diamonds in between his eyeballs there in the black section here. Those are actually ETH. You can kind of see it a little bit, but those are actually ETH. It's actually quite pixelated when you go in. That's a cool detail. I didn't realize that. All right, I'm going to kind of flick through the environment stuff here. We've got a million of them, and just help us.
While you're flicking through, I'll just, So Onyx, one of our outsourcing studios, is currently up-resing Tiger Boreal. Remember, I showed on a previous stream the low-res block out, and I was like, it's done now, so we're going to shift to doing the high-res. I've showed all of the assets that Onyx has been working on. So they're in the process right now, building over the top of the block out. And now, we're just into Crystal Shores block out now. But you can see where having a block out now pays off massively because the composition of the underlying scene is much easier for them as a studio to follow without constant art reviews and direction meetings. It's just, there's the block out, match it, we'll come back to you in 3 weeks. And that's exactly what we're doing. We said to the outsourcing studios when we started, we're not a very hand-holding type of studio. We just want to hire people who are really good and they can just do the work to the highest standard, and we just get on with it, and everyone does their thing and we're all happy in the end. And now I'm looking at stuff like this. It's not rendered. There's no proper shaders on this stuff. It's not set dressed to a final state, but you can see the pathing is there and the detail will be there. So once Dimitri and I get into this and look dev it and light it, it's going to look amazing.
Very good. Obviously, we're moving into Crystal Shores now. Yep. Another block out.
Yep. This is the block out stage, but we're working on verticality of this level. And the thing is, some of these crystals levitate, and the levitating crystals are what is going to provide the verticality in the level that allow you to jump on them. And there'll be physics similar to what Gezu did with the palm bronze and stuff like that. So you'll jump on a crystal and it'll kind of like jiggle up and down, which gives you that kind of whoa, Some of them will rotate and you'll have to jump off them before they rotate. It's going to be really cool like that.
Those different traversal mechanics, I mean, the promise that you guys have made is that there would be at least one unique traversal mechanic per region, so that it not only looks different, is different in terms of what you can collect, but also feels different in terms of how you move about the level. Very cool.
Brightland Steps is the wind. Abyssal Basin is the lilies. Crystal Shores is the levitating crystals. What else we got? We got.
It's okay, dude. It's 5 a.m. It's okay. I'm just gonna keep flipping through these. Look at this tree. Gorgeous detail. Look at that.
Well, so one of our outsourcing team who does the low poly work for this goes, how do I do the leaves low poly? And you're like, you don't. You just don't.
Man, it looks like a real tree. It's nuts. Some shells for Halcyon Sea, right?
Yeah. Halcyon Sea, we noticed that we just didn't have enough assets for how, like, if you go to any coral reef or anything like that, the diversity is what makes coral reefs amazing. It's not all the same thing. It's just a rainbow of colors and shapes. And a lot of our regions, we try and pull back from that and keep it stylized. Like you saw Sancta Mesa, very simple: palms, rocks, grass, sand. Don't break away from it. Halcyon Sea is going to be different from that, in that there's going to be a wild range of colors. It's going to be more of like a rainbow region, very vibrant, and that's what gives it its unique visual aesthetic.
Lots
So
of
much
varieties of shells,
Oh,
variety
so
of
much
color
work.
palettes, and
These,
this one's gorgeous. This one's
it's just
just
amazing
beautiful.
artwork. It's
This
all
one's like
artwork.
one I would like want to keep in my house as like a work of art. This one's actually quite beautiful, but the range of
Yes.
colors is cool. This one's got this sort of deep sorbet reds with some oranges there. Very different than the coloring on the previous ones. That variety, that's what Grant's talking about.
Even if you look at something like Horizon Forbidden West, which could arguably be seen as the best graphics in any modern AAA game, and you zoom in on some of the smaller elements in the game, you can see where they've put their focus, and it's never on the small stuff. And we said we have to make sure that every single asset we create is future proofed in a way that if we make another game in 5 years' time, when everyone has a graphics card with 100 gig of memory on it, that those assets hold up when we import them and upres them to their full standard. And it means that if we do like a first person shooter and we need to make a Halcyon Sea level, everything is future proofed. That's what a lot of people don't seem to understand or haven't really focused on, is that we've future proofed ourselves. It's like we've made sure that the work we do early on takes longer, but that future games, which is what the whole Illuvium thing is about, creating a metaverse of games, works. And in order to do that, you need to make sure that every single asset, large or small, is a piece of art and is capable of being used in cinematics, the mobile games, the high res AAA games, and anything in between.
Agreed. And, you know, the exponential, just more blockouts here from Crystal Shores for people to check out. But this one in particular, so just a quick comment on what you just said. We, in terms of graphics cards, I'm glad that we're being forward thinking there. It's really interesting. I just got these graphics cards last year, these 3080s in my computer. They're already dog shit. Like the 4000 series is here. And it's so significantly powerful in comparison to my 3080s. And the point is, not to complain about my awesome setup or whatever, is to say that we're going to continue to see exponential increases in graphics power on the hardware we're all using. And that's not slowing down. And people keep talking about how we're going to run into physical limitations of silicon and the different parts and supply chain and all these issues. Well, guess what? That wall has not been hit yet. And we've also got quantum computing down the road and cloud computing down the road. So I'm glad that we're being forward thinking, because I think 10 years from now, the advances in computing power are going to be, I think, greater than the advances from 10 years ago to today. And so counting on that is a really smart move from an art and creative standpoint for the project. So I think that that's a really good move for the team.
A lot of first-time studios just come out and they just make a game just to make one game. And we knew with the funding that we had early on and the way that this market was going and the head start we had to future-proof ourselves. So the work that we've done will pay off massively when a future game we start on, if we say, hey, we're making a first-person shooter, well, guess what? We've got an entire Lego library of all of these regions that we can build from. So if there's 7 regions in a first-person shooter and there's one map for each region that you fight on or whatever, the assets are ready to go. There's not going to be a year and a half long process of building all of those things out. We just go, there's a library of things we have to build from, go make an environment from it. And
Yep, that totally makes sense, of course. And that
cool.
when we're talking about 9 games, we're talking about launching with 3 and then moving to 9 down the road.
I don't know. Aaron's gone insane.
Aaron's gone insane. You know, I don't know. That's for you to sort out your family problems. All right, so we've got
I didn't know he had a crack addiction.
Like he might kill his brother Grant in the process and Kieran. But anyway, we've got some before and afters here. Oops, I'm going through them too quickly. But we've got befores on the top, and then we've got afters on the bottom.
Yep.
So what aftered here? What happened on the after?
The process when Mark came on changed from let's try and do the high res, and I've said this a few times straight away, like let's start set dressing with the high res assets we have, to let's block it out, get the composition right, and then do an overpaint of significant areas that we feel is screenshot worthy. And that way, if you look at the work Onyx was doing on Tiger Boreal back there, I'm not saying to swap to it, but it's so much easier for them as a studio to just go, here's a concept art from that scene. Here's the underlying block out of that scene. Here are all of the high-res assets. Go make it final. You don't need to art direct, and it speeds up the entire process. So while we're like so close now to having, this is the last region to block out, by the way. After that, it's all high-res work. And so that those first three regions, Abyssal, Brightland, and Crimson Waste, are very close to being what we consider beta ready. The next regions are following closely along, and we said that it would be a drip feed process. Someone figures out how to unlock the next region. We make an announcement and say it's coming out in 2 weeks, 3 weeks. Get ready, like give people a little bit of warning and then drop that region. Do it on the next one, and that was the goal. So that throughout next year, you're going to be as one region slows down a little bit, characters are getting caught, the bonding curves are starting to come through on those. Bang, a new region. Everyone gets excited again.
God, I mean, when the details come in, it goes from it looks pretty good to damn. And this is inspirational.
Cool
this is a cool read. Look at the floating crystals in the sky, and good God, this is going to be ridiculous. Do you see this? Do you see what's on the screen? God,
very cool.
What the F?
We've done it, we've made every region so different from a color palette perspective, the assets used, the lighting, we've really done it. But, now people are finally seeing it all come together, and they'll, in 2 months' time, we'll be on a showcase and I'll be running around Crystal Shores with you, and it'll be a finished block out, and I'll be like, now we're going to go to the high res, and you'll, in 2 months, the Tiger Boreal is going to be way more polished. Like, this is the first work in progress of the high res Tiger Boreal. We work on shaders, we work on lighting. It's all going to come together. It's not like it's some imaginary fairy dream that's never going to happen like some games. We're showing you how quickly stuff comes together.
You got to tell me about this. This looks so cool to me.
That's the asset that I showed you. Yeah,
that's the asset you showed me. Oh,
this is the block out of that asset, and then we're going to upgrade the lava flow using fluid flux so that the lava will drip, and then there'll be a flow of lava down the river. There's so much details going in, but it's coming.
Yeah. So for me, this is just me personally here. The aesthetic of having glacial ice looking stuff with waterfalls with then lava is fucking awesome.
Very cool.
Like combining
cool.
These different temperatures and environments into this impossible, fantastical scenario is kind of a first time aesthetic for me here on this one. This one really caught my attention for that reason.
Melting the snow in the valley below.
Yes.
It's going to be a lot of screenshots taken. And that's why I've said to the tech art team, we don't focus on it now, but all of these assets that we've done, the high-res textures, the models, we need to make sure that long-term we upgrade the game so that there is an experimental screenshot feature that even with a 4090 won't be performant. It'll be like how you see me streaming. You'll get 16 frames per second. It'll be slow, but you'll have all the ray tracing features. You'll have all the high-res light bakes, the high-res textures, the high-res geometries, the high light bounces on the illumination, so that when you want to take a screenshot for promo, or if you want to pre-render it for YouTube influencers doing videos on Illuvium, it's all there and it works.
Love it. People are feeling the fire and ice in the chat. Even more environments, my friends. What's the line up the middle here? Is this supposed to kind of be the flow of water or the path that the player may take?
The UE5 water system. You
Ah.
draw river directionality with the spline system, and then the surface normals and things slide along it.
This is the most, I'm just going to pull up this troll comment here. The most realistic Minecraft shader pack right here.
I don't think it is. Some people have done some mods for Minecraft, literally making photorealism mods and stuff, which is cool. There you go. There's another
This is just a Minecraft mod in Star Atlas.
Don't get me started. Don't get me started. Seriously.
That's my daily Poke Warwick moment. All right.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. Just following in Star Atlas's footsteps.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Perfect.
Paved the way for us to build the greatest game of all time.
Perfect, man. Even more of this fire and ice aesthetic. I agree with the comment in chat here that this would make for a killer wallpaper. Yeah, once the scene is finished, this eye-catching water, fire, and ice moment would be definitely a wallpaper, 100%. Yep, agree with that. We'll make it happen. All right, we've got a bunch of assets that we're going to show off here. Are these Halcyon Sea? These look coral-esque?
Yeah, just variations, because we figure out which assets we use a lot in the region, and then obviously you can't just repeat the same asset all the time, even though we get away with it with certain things. Some plants you can't, and that's why we go in and make variations. I thought I'd share a little bit of the low poly work. Once again, just a shout out to our arable Ukrainian outsource team who are doing this work from a fucking bunker during the middle of a war happening. God. Like sometimes it pisses me off when people say when, because it's like, well, even with, or we could automate this, but they're still working. You know, we've still got them putting this stuff out and making sure that our game looks as good as possible, regardless of all of the bullshit happening in different parts of the world. So,
God, we hope they stay safe, and thank you so much for all of the hard work they're putting in, being able to put all of that stress aside, and then using this as a creative outlet and creating incredible things for us. We are truly grateful.
All of this stuff, like, you know, we're up at 5 a.m. and stuff. Who gives a shit? It's not a freaking bomb being dropped 200 meters away from us. Like, it can get way worse than just working long hours. It's not even.
It puts it all into perspective. You're totally right, man. 100%. Look at these beautiful, beautiful trees.
The
just
detail. For abyssal,
spindling up, almost like fingers grabbing toward the sky. So cool. All right, we've got Shard Bluff Labyrinth.
The block out, so detailed now. I did a run through of this on the CC streaming the other day, and people were like, holy shit. Because it's one of those regions where a lot of the other regions, I love this region because it's not, if you look top down, it's not like a square. It's like a compressed rectangle, but there's so much verticality. You know, this level is not really wide or really, it doesn't have a huge amount of depth to it. Sorry, it doesn't have a huge amount of width or girth or whatever, but the depth in the level is insane that you have to track up the side of this giant cliff face.
Very cool. So what he's talking about, if you're not familiar with CC streaming, that's you, if you haven't already, joining our Discord server and getting exclusive streams with the co-founder of Illuvium, who's literally showing you him building this effing video game from the ground up with his bare hands at 4 a.m. Get on our Discord server if you're not already there. This is content you won't find at any other game studio.
Doing a lot of streams lately too on all sorts of stuff. It's the close. I did say this to you. Eventually, we're going to hit a point where everything being leaked is crazy. Eventually, it's not
right.
going to
be
blockouts. You know, eventually it's not going to be blockouts. Eventually, it's not going to be work in progress animations. It's all going to be high res NFTs we're sharing.
Finished looking
regions.
Stuff. Yep.
Yeah, we're getting there.
Look at this, man. You can already begin to see how wild and fantastical and unique this is going to be.
It's just a block out, you know, just to get the composition right. But the people who saw me run around this level, it's like, holy shit. Some of the work from Leote's studio, they worked on Abyssal Basin for us, and this is one of their artists' texturing work on some of the assets. I just thought it was great to show this because I don't think I ever did.
These are
Amazing
gorgeous.
work.
Like, holy moly, these
amazing.
look good. These are absolutely the color palette. It's like, I mean, take the Illuvium logo and just eat your heart out here. It's like the Illuvium logo in the form of a tree. It's so cool looking to see the brand take all these different formats. It's so beautiful.
They did some really great asset and texturing work for us. Really nice.
Yeah, people ask me in interviews, you know, how is Illuvium going to scale up? You know, more games in the future. How do we do it? Well, obviously, we clearly know what we're doing in terms of selecting third parties to assist. And the team is good at selecting the right talent, making sure that the right aesthetic is there, and then also not, like you mentioned earlier, not meddling in their process and just letting them do the damn job. And clearly the results are speaking for themselves. Look at these. Man, these shrooms right here are sick. Come on. Look at the green light underneath.
The detail and everything.
Dude.
Like I said, if you go into Horizon Forbidden West and you take a look at the close-up, zoomed-in detail on smaller assets, it's not this detailed. Like, it's just not. You know, it's good. It's really good. I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying we've gone crazy. We've made it so that it's not just there is some 3 feet tall plant. It can be used in a future game if we want to upscale it, use it in promo rendering. If we like, you know, right now we're working with Glow Studios on the next cinematic, and we just pump them assets, and they can use those assets in the cinematic. They take, if it's not high res enough in its low poly form, we've got the high res sculpt that they can then rebake into a higher res mesh. It's all interoperable.
People are wondering what would happen if they ate those shrooms. We do not recommend that or endorse that. We've got a screenshot here.
Start talking like Kieran.
Is this a lighting demo? I mean, the light is obviously spilling into the cave here, and it looks gorgeous. Why do we want to share this one?
I didn't even mean to send that to you. That was just on my desktop. It's Mark and
well, here it is. Bonus leak.
Yeah, Mark and I
this
have
one too.
Just final shots from the Crimson Waste and Sancta Mesa beta for the Overworld, because obviously you run around in Sancta Mesa, teleport into Crimson Waste, and I've just randomly dragged some of that stuff into you.
Got it.
Some of the texturing work on the new Abyssal Basin plants, all of this work, it's just crazy. One of the things with Abyssal Basin is that we were like, fuck, we need some more diversified assets, like trees and just traditional, like big trees, because we're using the same tree over and over. We need to make a few more. Yep, it's all coming together.
Make me some trees. What are we looking at here?
The in-game UI, you have a podium where Mozart and Arlen and items are displayed on. It's kind of like a holographic podium type thing. And I just wanted something that looked like the Illuvium style, so that when you're cycling through skins in the UI for Arlen, she's not just standing in an empty purple background. There's like an animation, and like the hexes underneath will go when the skins change and shit. Pretty cool. If you rotate, if you want to rotate around, the base podium stays the same, but like the hex inner part rotates, and there's a sound and a little VFX for it. And even in the user interface, like in the escape menu, which is cool.
More tree. That's really cool. Every detail has been taken into account, my friends. Here's a screenshot of the, I believe, the video asset we showed earlier.
Yeah.
This might be our final leak. Here, let me check here. This might be our final leak. No, it wouldn't be a showcase unless Grant sent us some rocks, obviously.
Oh, shit. I was going to say.
This guy's obsessed with effing rocks.
Yeah, some of the ice crystals.
Like to make fun of him for that. There's only a couple rocks here, guys. They're crystals, okay? Cut him a break. Some more tree assets. These looking wild. I love the form. Just see myself jumping on top of those and the leaves moving.
They'll react. They'll be physics assets that bend, and
they feel wet.
So cool.
They feel wet and gushy just looking at them. I can just imagine running on top of these. So cool.
I can't wait until we do an art book. Seriously.
I'm looking forward to that as well. I'm a sucker for art books like that. I got one for Cyberpunk 2077 and for like Legend of Zelda games, ones that have truly iconic and beautiful art. And clearly, We're going to have a lot of incredible things to show for Illuvium. Grant, thank you for this this really sizable amount of leaks here, man. This was great. Audience, did you enjoy it? I mean, we got Sanctum Mesa. You got to see merchandise. You got to see more Illuvatars, more environments, updates on all of the overworld regions, and animations across the board you hadn't seen there before. I'd say this is a pretty solid showcase, amigo.
That's pretty good.
It is pretty good.
Small to medium size.
It wouldn't be a leak fest without a roar, though. Seriously, you guys can't keep putting this pressure on this man. It's 5 a.m. He would literally blow out his entire life. He would shut down.
Okay. I did it. I left it to the last second, as always, but I did it. So, yeah.
Hashtag
do it
not
again.
dog shit. Thank you so much, Nefarious Bugaboo. You really nailed it right there. Grant, I know I would tell you to go to sleep, but you're just going to keep working on Illuvium. And so, salute to you. Thank you so much for all the hard work that you and Dimitri are putting in tonight on the game, working till 5 a.m., etc. And we really appreciate you coming on to share all of this with us.
You too, man. I'm loving the way the shows are going too. I think we're getting them more polished. And apart from last week, there was a bit of technical difficulties, but we'll fix up for that one.
All good.
It's amazing. Yeah.
One show over the next. It'll become better and better.
The Nico show, the sound design. We've been holding off, and you notice, like, where are the sound leaks? Nico has been working with actual footage of the process. He'll be on the show exclusively with Andrew, going over all of the sound, because sound is one of those things where we literally have, like, the best sound team you could get in the world. The quality is just ridiculous, and we need to showcase that in its own episode.
I agree. We'll give everybody a headphone warning on that episode. Headphones on, max quality, watch it on YouTube, and then that will be an Eat Your Heart Out sound episode. I love that idea. Grant, I'm going to boot you out of here so you can go take a break and then maybe put in another 20, 30 hours.
I will.
He will. He's
I'm
like,
going
no,
home to stream. Yeah,
I'm joking, but he's not joking. I don't know how he does it. All right, everybody, wave goodbye to Grant. Adios, amigo. And thank you so much to all of you for watching Illuvium Showcase every single week right here on our Twitter, Twitch, and YouTube. And if you want to catch more of our live content and our exclusives, we've got Illuva Talks 24 hours after this show every week on the same avenues, where we bring in industry leaders to talk about how we're building the metaverse, the future of crypto gaming, Web3, NFTs, the future of finance, everything, and future technologies. Be there as we lead the conversation into the next generation of games and how we interact on the internet. It's exciting, isn't it? I'll see you in the next episode. Adios, everybody, and thank you for watching.